What's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of An Entrepreneur's Journey. My name is Spencer Davidson, the entrepreneur, and this is my journey I'm documenting with you guys. Just dive right into today. And as you saw, I want to start with why. Why do I want to make a lot of money? Why do I want to build a legacy for myself? Why do I want to document all of it and post it on YouTube and share it with you guys? Why do I want to do all of this stuff? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Talking stories like every family does this time of year. I talked to my grandpa about how he grew up, and talked to how my grandma grew up and how they grew up. Again, they grew up in northern Iowa, very, very poor. They didn't have a lot. They worked, a lot of the jobs they worked were in factories. And I remember at my grandma's funeral, which was a few months ago, and the pastor talked about how, when we were talking about my grandma, how she could spread a dollar and a quarter. She could make that last two weeks. And I remember growing up kind of in that environment of that was the way things work. Especially going over to their house was conserve what you have. Don't overspend for anything. Don't go out to eat. Shop at local grocery stores. Only shop when the best deals are going on. If you drop a nickel, you better pick it up and you better put it in a jar. And really focused on conserving their money. When I was about 12 years old, my parents got divorced. Things happened. They just ended up getting divorced, and money got really tight then. My mom got sick. She actually had stage 3 or 4 cancer, and medical bills were coming, and she was spending probably $10,000 to $20,000 a month just on medication. She couldn't even work, so she was struggling like crazy. My dad, was struggling financially because of the divorce and having multiple houses that he had to pay for during this time, and things. It was a struggle for our entire family. We moved around a ton because my dad kept getting transferred, and although he was making $70,000, $80,000 a year, it really opened my eyes to how little money that is. Not to be disrespectful for my dad, and he would tell me this exact same thing, but when things go wrong in life, having that extra money and resource and tools can really help. Why I talk about that is because when I was 16 years old and I was in high school, I wanted to make money. My dad was preaching it to me. I saw how my family behaved around money. We were tight with it, and especially my other relatives outside of my dad, my grandparents, my aunts and uncle, and I just was around it so much that I just didn't want that. And so, when I was 15, 16 years old, I just wanted to be wealthy. I was tired of seeing my family struggle. Silly, again, I appreciate everything that I had. I had meals, I had shoes, I had clothes, but I was just tired of money of always coming up in conversations and it being a problem, being a negative thing, not a positive thing. And so I really wanted to make money. And I thought I was going to do that by being a professional athlete. I really did. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. And so the next best thing was being an entrepreneur. But I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what starting a business and running a company looked like. And I'm not going to I don't really want to talk about the company as much today as why, I want to be financially well off is all of those things I just said. I want to take care of my family. I want to be able to retire my dad so he doesn't have to work 7 days a week in the car industry. I want to be able to help my brother out who's 26 and he's in the same industry. He's in the car industry as well. He does well for himself, but I know he doesn't love it. I want to be able to take care of my uncle who works in a factory for 13 days straight, and the only reason he gets the 14th day off is because it's against the law. He works 7 days a week, 14 hours a day in a factory because that's just the job he has. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I know he doesn't like it, and I would love to be able to retire him, And the reason I tell you all these things is because that's my why. That's why I want to become wealthy. That's why I want to have these resources and tools. I want to help my family. I want them to not struggle anymore. I don't want money to be an issue for my family. And I also want to do more. I want to be able to change the educational system. I want to be able to get into politics, not necessarily be someone who pays for other people, but maybe myself. I want to self-fund my campaign if I ever did run for president someday. And yeah, I do want to have, would it be nice to have a big house? Absolutely. Would it be cool to drive fun cars? Sure, I mean, yeah, if I have that kind of money, I probably would have nice cars. But it goes deeper than that. And that's what I'm trying to relay to you today is digging deeper. You know, if I would have started if I would have started this business just because I wanted to get rich, because I wanted to buy watches and cars and houses, you know, and just because, I would have quit the first 2 months because I didn't get the results right away. And I'm still not getting the results. I'm 2 years into this company and I'm not making tons of money. And so when I do have a tough day, I sit back and say, okay, I got my family. You know, this is why I'm doing it. You know, I'm digging deeper. I want to succeed for my family. Also myself, but, you know, I want to succeed because I want to be able to change the education system someday. And so when times get tough, when times get difficult, I sit back and think about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it helps get me through these tough times. When I don't sell a house for 3 months and I'm getting beat up on phone calls like I just did today. Like it was a brutal fucking day today. But when I'm getting beat up constantly and punched in the fucking mouth, I can say and reflect why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it gets me through those days. It gets me through the tough times. It's something I can fall back on. I can think, okay, this is why I'm doing all of this. And so that's something I just, you know, I wanted to share with you guys, and I wanted to share why I'm doing this all. And finally, I want to share why I'm doing and documenting this on this platform. I want to inspire those who are afraid to get started. It's not going to be easy. It's not make $1 million in a month. It's not building a successful company overnight. It's a difficult journey. But if I can inspire you to and show you and be vulnerable in front of you to have you come along with me on this journey, to do it together, to build a community of people that can all do it together, whatever it may be, it doesn't even have to be public. It doesn't even have to be a YouTube thing. It could just be whatever dream you want to follow. I want to document me sharing mine so you can be inspired to say, you know what, if he can do it, I can fucking do this. And again, it doesn't have to be on YouTube. You don't have to do it on this platform, but it's something that I really want to start and I really want to document. And then that's my short-term goal. And then long-term, I want to be able to look back 20, 30 years from now, like that's where I started, and I want other people to do that. If people ask me 20, 30 years from now when my company is worth $1 billion, how did you build this company? I want to go back and be like, hey, well, go watch episode 1, and that's where I started. And watch it. This is how I built this company. This is how I helped build this company, and I want you guys to go back and be like, wow, it'd be educational for others. So I hope you guys keep following me along on this journey. I apologize for cussing. Actually, I don't apologize because that's who I am. And again, I really recommend you guys, if you are, you know, thinking about getting into something new, or if you're thinking about following your passion or your dream, I would really recommend reading this book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It really helps you dig deeper. All that being said, comment below if you want to start engaging, start building a community here. Subscribe if this is something you want to follow along on. And that's all I got for you.